Kathy and Kitty here to say, pop culture fun in every way. Music, TV, movies, oh so bright. Join us for a blast tonight. Sister and brother rocking the flow, sharing all the things you need to know. Kathy and Kitty always in the mix. Pop culture fun fix to fix. Pop culture kids podcast crew. Tune in and let the topics move. Kathy and Kitty make it fun. Pop culture talk for everyone. Sit for everyone. I brought some for everyone. Pop culture kids podcast crew. Tune in and let the topics move. Kathy and Kitty make it fun. Pop culture talk for everyone.
It's Saturday night
Time for your weekly dose of pop culture.
with Kathy and Kenny. Welcome to the show.
Welcome. It is Pop Culture Kids Sunday night with your hosts from the North and the South. Me from North Carolina, Kenny from South Jersey, Kathy and Kenny. Pop Culture Kids, how are you this evening, my brother?
I am good. I'm having some technical light difficulties here, but
Uh-oh.
other than that, I am good. Yeah, no, it's good. It's all good. It's all good.
All good in the
It's all
neighborhood.
good. It's all good in the neighborhood. And how I would ask how you. Well, I just got finished seeing you.
You just got to finish it. In fact, right, last week's show, I had driven all the way from North Carolina to South Jersey, and I started out Saturday, realized like 2 hours in, I had left my driver's license and bank card and everything sitting right here at my desk like a dummy. So I had to drive all the way back home and just set out Sunday morning and drove. And it's if you Google it, it's like a 7.5, 8 hour drive. But by the time you stop for gas, because you can't get there on a full tank of gas, by the time you stop for gas and a couple bathroom breaks or to grab something to eat, you are looking at a good 10 hours. You know, yeah, I was like, how can I cut this down? Even if I go and go to the bathroom, I'm still gonna be in the car for 10 hours. So you know what that means? It means lots of audiobooks. So if we ever do an audiobook show, I can help you out. I am queen of Audible right now because I got to listen to a couple different audiobooks, including the Energy Bus and YouTube, the YouTube formula, and I was binging all kinds of literature.
Um, and my sister was kind enough. Well, she could have woke me up, but
I didn't
when
want
she
to wake you
left,
up,
when she left Saturday morning, she did not wake me up,
and I
and
didn't
I
leave till
got
like 9:30. So it was like I had been up since like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. I washed a load of clothes. I was doing all these other things, packing up my crap, and I didn't want to wake you up.
I was just getting in bed like 2 o'clock.
Oh my God. See, I didn't need to wake you up.
No, you could have woke me up because I did a lot of things Saturday. Saturday, one of the things I did do Saturday was Friday we went to the store and we met this lady in this jewelry store who told me she would make a ring. I wanted an ankh ring, like an ankh like this,
Okay.
and but she made me wasn't quite an ankh, but this is what she made me.
Oh, okay. Oh, nice. All right.
So this ring was fitted and made specifically for me.
Oh, nice. So you got
So
your
I have
brass
this one.
ring.
I got a brass ring. Yes. Isn't that
Sweet.
a song? Whose song is that?
No, you're thinking of Brass Monkey.
Brass monkey. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Um. Yeah, that's cool.
Enough of that.
So let's start with some pop culture news.
Pop culture news. All right. Oh, wait.
Let's
I
talk
got
about
that
Wendy
live
Williams.
transition thing going. That's
Yeah.
lovely.
Let's talk about Wendy Williams.
Okay, let's talk about Wendy Williams. And you know what? I
Wendy
have to
Williams.
say I didn't get the I didn't I
Look,
didn't
you had
even
a
get
long drive.
the news assets in here, so forgive
That's
me.
okay. That's okay. That's all right. We're going to roll with this. It is what it is. So yeah, let's talk about Wendy Williams, who is fighting her guardianship. They're trying to say that because she handled her money and the wrong way, I guess. I don't know what went on, but a court gave her a guardian. Sabrina Morrissey is the organization or the lawyer that is her guardian, and it's all kind of sus to me because they're saying she's incapable, and they're saying these different things about her, and she was on the View Friday, I believe, and she wasn't on the show per se, but they had her on the phone. She sounded fine to me.
Oh, she wasn't on the show. I thought she was going to be on
She
the
wasn't
show.
on the show. No, she was. They had her on the phone, and apparently, like she's limited on what she can do. She's saying it. Her family is saying it. Her friends are saying it, but the guardianship is saying that no, that's not true.
Oh, what are they trying
So
to
it's
say?
I don't. They're trying to say she's crazy. They're trying to say she got dementia and that she's making this stuff up. So I don't think she is. I kind of don't. My gut is telling me don't
Like I
trust her.
heard the interview she did with was it Don Lemon? And I mean, she sounded perfectly sane to me, but
Yeah.
you know. But again, if
The
you
other.
have dementia, do you know you have dementia?
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, it was a thing like you got to see how she's acting and what she's doing. I had when she was in Philly, I had called into it because she would give people advice. I had
Mhm.
called in to ask her for advice,
Oh wow.
and she gave me good advice that I did not follow,
Ah.
and I wound up getting divorced anyway
Ouch.
and paying a lot of money. And had I listened to her, I probably wouldn't have had to anyway. Next, we have a very popular show that I've never seen, but I heard good things about it. Ted Lasso is renewed for a fourth season.
Oh, I love Ted Lasso. I love Ted Lasso. Oops. Oh, wrong thing on there.
Yeah. Next, we have Dawn Robinson of In
Oh wait,
Vogue.
I mean you just breezed over Ted Lasso.
Yeah, well, he's renewed for a fourth season. Like, what? Like?
I'm just saying. Okay. I don't know
I
how they're going to
mean,
bring it back, but it's on Apple
I've never
TV
seen it. Yeah,
and
but how they leave it off? How they live off the third season?
actually he had come to England to coach this football team, and again he was a football coach, American football coach, but he was coaching a soccer team, or it's called football everywhere else. I don't know why we're so provincial, but anyway, he was hired, and he really didn't know the game, so he had to learn the game. But it was his wisdom, and I don't know. There was just a good spirit to it, and I guess I kind of am enjoying it because my current principal is very Ted Lasso ish, and he's got that kind of. Somebody gave him like a believe poster that's in his office, but we've been kind of rolling with some of those Ted Lasso themes at school this year, and I think it's made it a very pleasant school year, so
Nice,
and
nice.
just working on a premise of being kind. So I think it's a show you would enjoy, and you should really check it out. I'm
Right,
giving
right
thumbs
now,
up to
right now. Well, my one show I'm streaming just ended, Invincible. I'm in the middle of watching Reacher and, of course, Daredevil. So I'm kind of tied up with my shows that I'm watching. And I have to watch, apparently, I was told I need to watch Andor season one because Andor season two is coming out. So
Okay.
I'm in the, you know. So next we have Dawn Robinson of In Vogue.
Okay.
Dawn Robinson was in Vogue and she left in Vogue. And at one point, she was part of Lucy Pearl, which was her, Raphael Sadiq,
Oh
and I
yeah,
forget
I
who the other
remember
person was.
them.
So, yeah, yeah. Here comes this girl named Donnie. Anyway, she revealed that for the last 3 years, she's been broke and living in her car.
Oh wow. Now, is that by, I mean, I guess because she's broke, it's not by choice, but there are some people who do live in their car because they have like whole YouTube channels on it and,
Yeah.
just like car camping or whatever.
Yeah. I don't think Dawn Robinson wants to live in a car.
Okay. That's not how she wants to live.
I don't think that's how she wants to live. I don't think that's what she's doing.
Mm.
But I think she might be getting back with In Vogue. I don't know.
I saw something posted on social media about In
Well,
Vogue kind of making a
it was like
comeback.
four of them. Yeah, it was four of them making it. Yeah.
Right.
So, Ian McKellen, as we all know, who is, Magneto for us nerds. And I believe he was in
Wasn't he Gandalf or what? He was in the
Gandalf, yes.
Harry
Yep,
Potter
and
series.
he's also in the Harry Potters too. Ian McKellen encourages other actors to come out. He says being in the closet is silly. That was his interview with the Times of London. But he said, like, because he's out
But
and he
again,
thinks
but
that,
he didn't do it till he was like darn near 80 years old. I don't know. That's to me that seems a little preachy and a little judgy for him to say, "Oh, you got to come out and blah blah." But it's like that might be his story, but for
yeah,
other people, it might not be that simple. And I
yeah,
think,
it might not be that simple at all.
especially for people of color, it's a different ball game because just culturally the things that folks have to go through. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
That just seems a little high horsey for me. That's
yeah,
all I'm saying.
everybody has their own bag, and
Yeah, I
I
get it.
think I think it's easier for a celebrity to come out to me, and this is what I'm, as a heterosexual man,
Hmm. I
I
think
think if
like a
someone came out,
cisgender man or something like that.
yeah, 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 if someone came out as, I don't, and I don't know because I'm not in that world,
But
but
here's the thing, too,
I think it's
and
easier now than it was maybe
oh yeah,
30
oh
years ago or 40
definitely
years ago.
is. It definitely is. But again, to me, it's like, I- I don't know. Yeah, he could say that because as a white man, it's probably
Yeah,
easier for him. But
yeah.
for black actors, it might not be that easy.
No, it might not
And
be that
so
easy.
for him to kind of make those generalizations, I don't know, just a little sus to me. And here's the thing, because having studied acting and taken classes in New York City and worked with actors, hey, Big Rick, thanks for hanging out.
Rick,
But
Big Rick.
but I always thought it was odd how I would be in these acting classes and there would not be a single straight guy, but yet when you watch TV shows and movies, every single guy is straight. I'm like, like Arsenio Hall used to say, things that make you go, hmm. Although on the
Hmm.
other side of the spectrum, having done comedy, uh, the testosterone was so strong and the machismo was so high. I really applaud somebody like Gerard Carmichael for him to come out. I think it was a pretty big deal because for comics, it was almost like the opposite end of the spectrum. But anyway, that's just my take, my hot takes.
Our last bit of news is, now I only put this on here because, like, I got an issue with this. Chris Pratt says his Electric State character is like Star Lord if he never left Earth. And to me, this is the quickest way to kill a career. Because if you tell me that you're famous for being Star Lord, and this other movie you did is like Star Lord if he didn't leave Earth, then you're telling me you can play the same. You're playing the same character in almost every movie. You're doing like a Will Smith or a Ben Diesel. You're playing that same guy in every movie. Nobody wants to see that. That's not like I don't know. Is it me? Let me know if it's me.
He's doing a what is it called? Ryan Reynolds, because sometimes I think he's the same guy in every single movie.
Yeah,
I get those vibes. I get same
Ryan
guy
Reynolds,
vibes.
Ryan Reynolds, Will Smith, The Rock. Who else? I say Ben Diesel. They're pretty
You
much the
can't really
same
say
guy
Will
in every
Smith
movie.
he has pushed his range a little bit. I
A
think
little, a little, a
movies like The
little.
Pursuit of Happiness
Yeah,
and Emancipation, I think he's at least tried to push his range so that you're not seeing. I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't put him in that category. Ryan Reynolds, I definitely would like that. That smirky. Um, I
yeah.
mean,
That's Smirky Wise ass.
yeah. I mean, the character Daredevil. You know, is it Daredevil? Who is
Deadpool,
he?
Deadpool,
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 rather.
Deadpool. How dare
Deadpool.
you?
Because to
How
me,
dare you?
ever since Van Wilder, he's been like, yeah, Deadpool is just Van Wilder
In
in
a costume.
tights.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's
Pretty
my
much.
hot take.
Pretty
but
much.
and again, and even in his romantic comedies, like The Proposal, I love, and it might be more Betty White and some of the other
Yeah.
performances in Proposal, but he's still, I don't know, he's still on that edge.
Well, I think too. It's yeah. Proposal. He's pretty much a wise guy. Just
Yeah,
like my best was the best friend thing or my
best friend thing.
the friend thing, the one where he's friends with the girl and he's trying to get out of the
Oh,
friend zone.
oh,
Um
what is it? The one he's telling his daughter the story of?
no. This is the one where he was fat and he came back good looking and skinny and he tries to get the girl. Um
I don't know that
oh,
Ryan
what
Reynolds
was
movie.
you know that Ryan Reynolds movie?
I
Oh
do.
man. Yeah, you do. I know you do.
Okay, if you say I do, I do.
Palbino.
Do
What's the
do.
girl's name?
Although you sent
Okay.
me a quote, and I knew the quote, and I forgot to write the movie it was from.
Oh, the quote, the last one I sent you, where it goes, oh, what did I say? I don't remember what I said. You know what? This is age coming to you because when you don't remember
That's when
what you
you know
said,
you're hitting the 50s hard.
yeah, that's when you know you're hitting the 50s hard, man. When you can't,
I forgot what that
when
movie
you
quote
gotta,
was, but I knew the movie quote. You tagged me in the face. Okay, yeah. Don't need pizza. They got food there. Was that
yes,
Hitch?
don't need, yes, that's Hitch.
Hitch.
You don't need pizza. You don't need pizza.
Like,
This your
Pat,
lane
Pat,
right here. This
don't
your
you
lane
ever
right
do
here.
that.
You gotta,
This is
yeah.
where you live. Right
This
here.
is where you live, right here, right here. This is where you live. Don't need pizza. They
I
got
love
food
that
there.
movie. Hitch was a good
I was
one.
watching I was watching Hitch last night
Oh, is that is
because
that why it came to you?
yeah, that's why I came to because I'm kind of I consider myself like Hitch.
Yikes. Okay.
Whereas when I was younger and in college, I was nerdy and couldn't talk to women and didn't know how to. But now I'm older and I'm more experienced. I've had my heart broken more than a few times, so I'm like, I'm a Hitch. I'm smooth with the ladies. I'm
Okay.
a Hitch.
You've
I
evolved.
dress nice. I dress nice and look good, and they respond to that.
This is what I deal with. Bless me. Anyway. Okay.
So we're gonna start. We're gonna start on our topic. Our topic is not just female comedians, but we're talking about comedians, women in comedy, and I'm talking about comedians and comedic actresses that have made a dent or an impact on comedy itself. And there's some comedians I want to put on this list that I had to take off the list because we only got an hour.
And as you
I
folks
think I think
know,
it's pop. I think it's pop culture kids. I think I might get like a button or a shirt that says "We only got an hour" because that's what I say every week. We only got an hour. Can't do everybody. But if there's some people I forget. Now, we're not just doing like so. Tiffany Haddish is not on this list because I'm
Okay.
doing people who have made an
So it's just
impact.
not women in comedy, but
No.
we're trying to hit the ones that were the most impactful. And usually I do
Yes.
have videos and or visuals to go with it, but I have to confess, after the drive, I was just exhausted, so I didn't.
Yes.
I napped today, and that's
Like Ellen DeGeneres is not on this list.
okay.
She did make an impact, but I
Uh
got some people on here who made an impact way before Ellen DeGeneres did. So we're going to start off with Marsha Warfield. Now,
oh.
Marsha Warfield was the actress. What are you doing? What's
I
your
don't
camera
know.
doing?
I'm
I
playing
don't
around
know.
with some of the new features of Ecamm, and I
Okay.
just moved the
Okay.
camera
Okay.
to the point where
She's playing around with the new features in the middle of the show. Like, I don't, I can't. I can't. I can't. So,
well, Ecamm has all these great new features, and if
yeah.
you are a
Okay.
streamer and watching us, check it out. I think there's a link in the description. If not, I'll go throw one in there later. But Ecamm 4.0 was just released, and I was playing with the new features. Sorry.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna start with
Like
Marsha
this live
Warfield.
motion feature, that's kind of cool. See how you just kind of,
Yeah.
you know?
I,
I think
I
even
see.
when we did
I
pop
see.
culture news, see how the
Okay.
screens just
Yeah.
moved? I think that's kind of
I
cool.
see.
Anyway.
I'm gonna need a lot more liquor. So we got Marsha Warfield. Once again,
Marsha
I'm gonna say this for the
Warfield.
third time. Yes, born in 1954. She is an actress and a comedian. She did a lot of 70s and 80s TV sitcoms and shows.
Night Court.
Marsha Warfield, yeah, she did Night Court, and she came back for the revival of Night Court. Marsha Warfield, actually, her first TV credit was the Richard Pryor Show.
Oh, you know what? That show is classic. I wonder, can you
Yes,
find that streaming
yes, you
somewhere?
can. I'm sure it's on YouTube.
Okay.
The Richard Pryor Show, because you have
Because
people like one of my Hollywood crushes was on there, Sandra Bernhardt.
he had a lot of female comedians as a
Yeah,
part of
yeah,
that
yeah.
first.
Sandra Bernhardt. He had Marsha Warfield. Tim Reed was on that show in the beginning. Paul
Mm,
Mooney, of course, Whitform was on the show. Robin Williams was on the show
yeah.
on Richard Pryor show. So Marsha Warfield, and I put her on the list because back in the 70s and 80s, she was a comedic actress who did stand-up comedy, but also she was on TV in the 70s and 80s in a very she was never somebody's maid. She was never derogatory. She was always the boss in charge, or she was always a strong woman. And I put her on there because her impact is that the show, like other black women, that you don't have to be somebody's maid to be funny to be on TV.
Mm.
And that was Marsha Warfield. Next, we're gonna have Wanda Sykes. Now, I got Wanda Sykes on this list because her impact was, probably in the 90s when she started getting really popular in the early 2000s. She was also another woman that showed black women that, you know, you could be funny and be on TV. And, she's also one who came out. Marsha Warfield is also a lesbian, but Wanda Sykes, she was married and then she became a lesbian, and she
Because
also
she
came
started off
out.
Wanda Sykes Hall.
Right, and you knew her back then, didn't you? You met
Yeah.
her.
Hmm. Oh yeah. Back
Eh,
back when I was working comedy. In fact, when I passed my audition at the comic strip, it was kind of interesting because what was it? I forgot that guy's name. Who was the the gatekeeper at the time? Lucian. I can't think of his anyway. And I know it was the end all be all to pass at the comic strip, and I eventually did. But the comment he made to me is that I could be the next Wanda Sykes Hall, but no, I'm not. I'm the first Kathy Walker, and I'm doing a podcast with my brother. So there you go.
I'm telling you, and I'm saying, she chose a different road. But if Kathy is stuck with comedy, she was hilarious on stage. I should have been collecting royalties because I was like 50% of her act, but that's beside the point. The
But hey,
next
Before
Uh,
we hit the
c-
next one, oh, okay.
I was going to talk about the next one, then let you do the.
Okay. All right. Let's do that.
Okay.
Who do you have next on the
The next
list?
one is Madeline Kahn. September 1942 to December 1999. She's a comedic actress. And if you've ever seen a Madeline Kahn movie, you ever seen anything with Madeline Kahn in it, I want you to try to name a role that she was not funny or good in. And I'll wait for this. But Madeline Kahn, whatever you see Madeline Kahn in, she Clue, Blazing Saddles, like was she Young Frankenstein?
She
Whatever
was.
Madeline Kahn
Mhm.
does, it is hilarious. And I put her in there as making an impact because she wasn't just a stand-up comedian, she was a comedic actress. And she wasn't really a stand-up comedian, she was a comedic actress, and um she let it all out on the stage when you saw her perform. And she was very kind. I'm sure there's a lot of women who said, I want to be a comedic actress like that.
Mm.
Kathy, why don't you talk to the people and tell them where they can find us and thank them for coming to see us?
All right. We so appreciate you being here. It is Pop Culture Kids. You can find us on the interwebs at kathyandkenny.com. kathyandkenny.com. You can also hear us on Who's Got Next Radio in those radio markets in South Jersey and I believe outside Chicago. And you can hear the podcast and the places that you get your podcasts and your ear candy. But again, the best place to find us is here on YouTube Sunday nights where we record live this podcast version of Kathy and Kenny as we explain pop culture kids. There you
All
go.
right.
Promo in
All right.
30 seconds or
Thank you.
less.
Thank you. Yeah, there
Bada
you go.
bada,
Way to
bada boom,
go.
bada
Way to
bing.
go. I like it. I like it. So next we're going to talk about Carol Burnett, who was born in April 1933. Carol Burnett was the first woman to have her own, like, single woman by herself having a variety show. Now,
What about
initially, they wanted
Dinah
Carol,
Shore? Didn't she have a variety show?
not like this. She had a variety. Dinah Shore had a show where people came on and she interviewed them and she sang and stuff like that. This was like sketch comedy.
Okay. Okay, sketch comedy show. That is a little
Yeah,
different.
sketch comedy. Variety. Yeah, that's a little
And
different.
I
And
think that
and and
that's a bygone era that I don't know. I think well, I think Rosie O'Donnell and Ellen DeGeneres tried to kind of revive that whole like like the talk show. I mean, we still have
yes,
talk shows, but the afternoon talk show. I guess
yes.
Jennifer Hudson is kind of carrying it on, and I really haven't seen her show, but I do love watching the TikToks and the shorts of people walking like.
Yeah, on the Jennifer Hudson show. Yeah, I like. But this is like about this. Um, um, Calvinet's show was kind of like Saturday Night Live before Saturday Night Live,
Okay.
and that's what was. And you had other shows like that, like Jack Benny did things like that and stuff like that. But this is the first. Calvinet was the first woman, and when she first came to the network, they wanted to put her in a sitcom.
Mm-hmm.
And Calvinet didn't want a sitcom, and they let her do this, and they really didn't think this was going to work. And this is like one of the most famous variety shows, like sketch comedy variety shows around. Everybody in Gen X remembers the Carol Burnett show.
Oh yeah.
You know. Next we have Mae West. Mae West from August 1893 to November 1980. Mae West made this list because um, Mae West was a comedic actress, comedian, singer, sex symbol, screenwriter, playwright. Um, she was known for those one-liners, and this is back in the time when you had W.C. Fields always doing one-liners and things like that, and smart comments. And but this, you had Mae West doing it, and Mae West was such a character, and her image, like, it was used with different things, and you know, even after her play, people knew who Mae West was. She was the one that Janet Jackson, as a kid, used to do an imitation of.
Mm-hmm.
on the Jackson show. So her image impacted, and was the one who she was a woman who came in and did those one liners. And if you ever watched, I saw on you, I was watching on YouTube this whole string of one liners that Mae West would do. They were actually hilarious, even for the 20s and 30s. They were. I'm listening to these. I'm like, yo, that's good. Like
May
I'm gonna have
West
to
one
make that like
liners.
I'm gonna have to yeah. Mae West one liners. She says things when you look at even in today. You're looking at. I'm gonna have to use that. Like that's a good one liner. Next we have Joan Rivers from 19 June of 1933 to September of 2014. She died from complications of surgery that she was having. Comedian, actress, producer, writer, TV host. She was inspired by Phyllis Diller and Lenny Bruce. Joan Rivers was the person who, Joan, at the time of George Carlin, Richard Pryor, guys like that who came up in those late 60s, 70s times and came to fame. And a lot of them worked in the village. She was the female counterpart to those people. And she just did her comedy. And it's very like, she would talk, she would, and I have another one coming up later who's like this, Phyllis Diller. We're going to come up to her. But, Joan Rivers did that same kind of comedy. But she kind of brought it up to the 80s and the 90s and brought it up and kept it going. And she also had her own talk show. And which is it didn't last long, but it was pretty funny. But she did have an impact because there's a lot of women who want to do comedy like Joan Rivers. Next, we have Whoopi Goldberg, who's still alive, who's on the top of my Hollywood crush list. Whoopi Goldberg is on the top of my Hollywood crush list, and people who know me know this. She's born in November of 1955, so she's a Scorpio like me, or either around that time. She was born. I don't get the date, but she is, and this is why she has an impact on comedy. She's a woman with an impact. She is an EGOT. She is an EGOT.
Which means Emmy, Grammy,
Why you going?
Oscar,
Why?
Tony.
Yeah, Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. Um, she has so many accolades. She's an activist. Um, she has tons of accolades other than being an activist. She just there's too many to mention on what
Now
she
she's not.
does. She's currently on The View.
Now I
Go
know
ahead.
a lot of the people on here, like some are like comedians, like stand up, like Joan Rivers and Wanda Sykes and even Marsha Warfield. But I think with Whoopi Goldberg, she was more of a comedic actress. But even with her one woman show that kind of brought her to prominence, it had very serious moments in it, along with the comedy. And she was known for some comedies, but I guess like The Color Purple was her breakout role, the one she should
Yes,
have won that Oscar for. But don't get me
yes,
on
and
that
they gave it
rant.
to her. Yeah, they
But
gave it to her for Ghost. Go ahead, go to the rant because they gave it to her for Ghost, and they
they
should
gave
have,
it to her for the wrong movie. And again, they did the same thing with Denzel. He needed the Oscar for, a number of things that were better than Trading Day.
number
But
of things.
anyway, I'm not going to even go there. But
Go
get
there,
it where you
go
can
there,
go. Get
go
it where
there.
you fit
I'm
and
the one
get
that's
it
gonna push you to go there.
whenever they're going to give it to you. Just get it and take it and go on home. Go on home and don't start
Like
crying about it.
and you really can't say her performance in Ghost, which was good,
Hmm.
but you really can't say it was better than her performance
In The
in The
Color
Color Purple.
Purple. And I
You
mean, that was
can't, you
just.
can't. There's no one who likes movies can say that, but this is a woman who's done one woman shows, who's I I can't say what she hasn't done.
Mm.
Like Whoopi Goldberg is an icon, and if Whoopi Goldberg, you happen to hear this,
I actually
I'm
enjoyed her on
selling.
Next Generation as well.
Yes,
If the
yes.
Trekkie in me can just let loose a little bit.
She was at a Comic Con
Mm.
for the next generation and everything, and the line was I couldn't get in there,
Line was too long.
and you had to pay to get into the line, I think too.
Oh
So
wow. Oh, like that time. What was it? There was some actor from Buffy or whatever, and
yeah, 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 Spike.
Spike. Okay.
And I said, I'm on the phone with you, and I'm like, hey, my sister, look, like I'm talking to you. I'm like, I'm talking to the guy, and goes, hey, he goes, well, he won't talk to her on the phone. I said, really? But he can make a video for her to say hi. I was like, oh, that's cool. Wait a minute. How much? He said $45. I said, I guess she won't be
Woo!
getting. I said, I guess she won't be getting that video.
That's not gonna happen. Sorry,
That's not going
Spike.
to happen.
Yikes. Is that how it is for all those Comic Con things when you
No,
get to? No.
no. Some of the guys are not about like um, Jason David Frank, who passed away from suicide, who was the Green Power Ranger. He played Tommy Oliver on the Power Rangers. He was the most popular, famous Power Ranger, and he was extremely nice and good too. Dude, this guy was. I went up this. I just wanted to meet him, and I don't pay for autographs and stuff like that. And I said to him, like, I just wanted to meet you because I like your show. I used to watch it with my son when I had him on the weekends. Yada yada yada. He goes, you know what? Let me give you a signed poster anyway. Boom. Let me give me a signed poster. Send me on my way. My buddy was in line, two people behind me. His elderly parents were waiting um, for him to go through the line and get something signed or whatever. And he saw his father in a wheelchair, and he saw this elderly lady, standing with the wheelchair. And his brother was there too. He goes, "Are you guys waiting for me?" And they're like, "No, our son is in line." He goes to the whole line. He goes, "Excuse me, guys. Could you guys excuse me for a minute?" Call my buddy up, sign what he wanted to sign, met the family, took a picture with the family, and then got back in line. And the girl behind me goes, I'm not even into this guy like that. That was really nice, though. I said, do you think he'll talk to my friend? Because the only reason I'm in line is so I can get a signed picture for my friend. I said, well, you see what he just did for my friend. Call your friend up and see if he'll talk to. All you got to do is ask him if he'll talk to your friend on the phone. And all you can say is no. So she did. And as I was walking away, he's on the phone going, hey, yeah, it's really me. It's Jason David Frank. Yeah. So
That's
not
cool.
everybody's that anal about the guy. I don't know if it was Spike himself or his management, because not everybody's anal when you go to a Comic Con. Because I remember talking to the guy who plays Superman on Lois and Clark, Dean Kane,
Hmm.
and his management. And Dean Kane, this other guy, was having a great conversation about superhero movies. And the management was like, "Oh, we got these people waiting." And Dean Kane looks and goes, I'm having a good conversation here. Hold on. Like, wait.
That's pretty
Like,
cool.
wait. They're all right there. They're wait. And
Oh,
the
you know
Dean Kane
what,
just kept
Kenny?
on
You know
conversation.
what's got to be on our bucket list, and maybe, well, it probably has to wait now since George has these little kids, but to go to a Comic Con, like a San Diego Comic Con,
Oh yeah, that's on the bucket list.
we need to
That's
do
definitely
that.
that
Like maybe
we
once
do
you
definitely.
retire, once I retire, we need to just trek to Comic Con, San Diego Comic
Yeah.
Con, make a plan.
San Diego, yeah, that'd be nice. And if anybody from San Diego Comic Con is listening, and I know we don't have a big following, but if you want to give us tickets to come and report, we could do that. Because
Right.
Me and my son are big nerds. He's an artist, and actually, I dropped off a copy of the book that we're working on for him to draw the art on. So
Oh,
the book's
cool.
coming out soon.
Awesome.
Next on the list is Phyllis Diller from 1917 to August, from July 1917 to August 2012. She was a comedian, actress, author, visual artist, best known for her eccentric appearance and self-depreciating humor.
Deprecating.
If you want to, deprecating, yeah, self-deprecating. Um, if you want to put her on a list, she was like a female Don Rickles, or not like that.
Mm.
like a female
Yeah, I don't think she was as harsh as
Roddy.
Don Rickles. Well, she was harsh with herself, and
Yeah, a female Roddy Dangerfield.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Before Rodney Dangerfield, though, and she was like a trailblazer because she inspired people like Joan Rivers. Because Joan Rivers, talked bad about herself too.
Yeah, she did that
And
self-deprecating
the one
humor
thing
as
they
well.
both had in common is the facelift things they always got.
Okay.
So yeah, they were big on the
Well,
facelifts.
yeah, but Joan Rivers, she wasn't hiding it. Unfortunately, I think that's what she passed away from complications after some plastic
Yeah,
surgery.
surgery.
Unfortunately.
No, actually, it was a throat surgery, I think.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Next, we're going to talk about Gracie Allen.
say goodnight, Gracie.
Say goodnight,
Good,
Gracie.
good
Now,
night,
here's
Gracie.
why Gracie Allen is on. Gracie Allen lived from July 1895 to August of 1964. And there's because of her, there's something called the Gracie Award. And this is an award that women who are great comedic actresses and great comedians will get to honor her. Her her and George Burns were married and they had to act together. George Burns noticed that in the comedy sketch they would write, she would get more laughs than he did. George Burns became the straight man of the act, and Gracie Allen. And I first got introduced to Gracie Allen probably like 20 years ago or so when I was on TV and I was watching something real late, and the Burns and Allen show came on, and this woman came on. And I'm like, I'm in love with this woman because she is so. I love funny women. She is so funny, and she acts kind of clueless, and I believe that's kind of where if you see Ariana Grande and the TV show that she started off on, Victorious, Ariana Grande would kind of act like that, kind of clueless, kind of innocent, clueless type person who would actually know stuff, but would act clueless anyway. And Gracie Allen was good for that. And I might even YouTube and try to find some Grace Burns and Allen stuff because what she did on that show was great. And she was part of a duet, but George Burns would have never made what he was if he didn't have Gracie Allen. So that's why she made this list as an inspiration. And once again, there is something called the Gracie Award that people are that women comedians like strive to get.
Okay.
Next, we have
So
the
I'm like the
icon.
George Burns to your Gracie Allen.
Why got to be the woman? Like why? Why is
Well,
that?
I'm kind of like the straight man to your whatever it
I
is
don't.
you
I
do.
don't. I don't see. I don't. I don't. Okay. You know what? I don't. Next, we have Lucille. I don't. Lucille Ball
Okay.
from 1911 to April 1989. She's actress, comedian, producer, studio executive. She's the first woman to run a major television studio, Desilu Productions. She's the first woman to be pregnant on TV because the network did not want to show her pregnant on TV because she was going through the pregnancy, and that was like, yeah, we can't say pregnant. We got to say expecting. We got to say, because back in those, you're talking the 50s. So back in
Wow.
those days,
Times have changed.
she got pregnant, but they had like separate beds, and you're wondering, well, how did that happen?
Well, they had separate beds up until like was it the Brady's the first to have like two people sleep in the same bed?
I think it might have been Brady's,
Because
and I
even
think
Robin, Laura
even then
Petrie had separate beds, right?
they did.
I'm pretty sure they did. Yeah.
We might have to have a show on like separate beds.
Separate. Yeah, they
And
had sep. I'm
well,
pretty sure.
the the Brady's had 6 kids, so you really couldn't get away with them having separate beds. You know they was doing the wild thing.
Well, no, they were the the kids were from other marriages though. They didn't have any
True,
kids
true,
together, unless you
true,
count
true.
Oliver, but he was a cousin, so they didn't actually
Cousin
have
Oliver.
any kids because
No,
she was a
yeah.
widow, right? And was he divorced or was he a widow? They never
I think
really.
they were both. I think they were both widows.
Okay, Because they were never really clear about that.
Well, it doesn't matter because a husband or another wife, another spouse never showed up.
No, that's true. So maybe they
So
both were widows.
they probably were both with us.
Oh, okay.
The
All right.
Brady Bunch. So
That was like a
Lucille Ball.
childhood staple.
Yeah, it
The
was.
Brady
But
Bunch.
we're talking. Yeah, but we're talking about Lucille Ball. Lucille
Okay, I'm
Ball
sorry.
was yes.
I did
I'm,
definitely squirrel.
stay in our lane. Let's stay in our lane. Squirrel. What? Okay.
I'm like,
Lucille. Yeah, of course. So
I was
Lucille
like
Ball.
somewhere in the zone. I'm sorry. I was like, woo, woo. How did I get off track? I'm sorry.
You always do. You always
I'm
do.
sorry. I'm derailing
Okay, so
us.
Lucille Ball
Mhm.
was a studio exec, and that was one of the things that was kind of unheard of. And she also produced other shows with Desilu, like Star Trek, Mission Impossible,
Oh yeah.
a lot of other shows and movies that went
And
through
I think a lot of
Desilu.
people don't realize that either.
No, no.
That being a part of that Desi Lou was again the studio behind Star Trek, and I don't even know whether the original Star Trek did it even run that long.
It ran for like 3 years, I believe.
Like 3 years.
It's a
Which
5-year mission that ended in 3 years because ratings said no, we're tired.
no, we're done. We're done. Although, again, the lasting power of it too has been. I don't know. Are
Yes.
you more Star Wars or Star Trek?
I'm more Star Wars than Star Trek, but I do know Star Trek.
Yeah.
But I am more Star Wars.
Okay. See, I'm more Star Trek, but I'm more Next Generation. That was my jam. I wasn't the original. The original was okay, and I can appreciate it, and I can respect it. And I'm sorry, I'm taking us off on the squirrel tangent. All right.
Squirrel! Squirrel!
I don't know why I'm playing crickets for a squirrel. Oh, I'm
We
a
need
little
we need to get
punchy
us like a
tonight.
squirrel sound like a
You know what? You know what it is, and it's not even. Maybe it is the effect of the blood moon. Although I didn't get to see much of it, but I'm glad the full
no.
moon passed when we were on spring break. But my spring break ends tonight, so after the show, I got to go to bed knowing that I got to get up in the morning and go back to work.
Yeah,
And it's
I gotta go to tomorrow's my office day, so I have to
mm,
go in, and
yeah,
then next week will probably be an office day every day. So, but that's another story altogether. We don't want to get into that. We
yeah.
got two more people. Next, we're gonna go into Fanny Bryce from 1891
Oh,
to
you were
May.
scratching these
From,
out of the old school book, but go
yes,
ahead.
yes, October 1891 to May 1951. Now, I'm doing women who have had an impact on comedy. You're not going to find Ellen DeGeneres. She did have an impact. Tiffany Haddish. You're not going to find like these stand-up comedians that you know now, Ali Wong and all that. I did see those lists of those people. I passed because I wanted people. I wanted to give you female comedians that had an impact on comedy that the today's female comedians learned from. I wanted to educate you on some of these people and names that have done it before the people you see today. Fanny
Preach.
Bryce, hey, hey, I'm 10 toes down on this.
All right.
Fanny Bryce is the inspiration for the movies
Is that you beeping?
Funny Girl. Yeah, that's me beeping. That's my you don't want to know what that is.
Okay.
Funny
Are you okay? You need to check it out, or
yeah, I'm checking it out
all
now.
right?
Hold
Because
on a
I can
second.
talk to the people a little bit about Fanny Bryce from what I know, but the original Funny Girl or the movie Funny Girl was based on the life of Fanny Bryce and her being one of the first, I guess, comedians to actually kind of perform
Yes,
and take it to another level. Are you all
yes,
right?
and
You still with
that's
us?
just I'm still with you. I'm
Okay.
not dead yet.
I just need to make sure you don't have to make
I'm
that face.
okay. I'm okay.
You don't have to make that face.
Okay.
Scary face.
Now I'm going to end with the woman who used to scare me as a kid because my parents had an album of hers. And she was on the front of the album and it was all black around her, and all you saw was a face doing this.
Because it looked like
And
she
that
didn't have
was,
her teeth in.
yeah, she's, yeah, and it was scared the hell out. But if you look at old videos of her and old YouTube clips of her, she is so freaking funny.
Yeah.
We're talking about Jackie Moms Mabley. Moms Mabley was born in 1897, March of 1897, passed away in May of 1975. Um, she's the first female comic to appear to perform at the Apollo Theater in Harlem.
Uh-oh.
She is an
Legend.
African American woman who is a female comic who paved the way. And the reason and at first she would do comedy not as much as she do as Jackie Mabley. Her original name was Loretta Mary Aiken, and she did the chicken circuit, she did the vaudeville,
You mean the
she did it
Chitlin
all.
Circuit?
The chitlin circuit. She did vaudeville. She did all of that.
The Chitlin
Um,
Circuit. Oh,
the
yeah.
chitlin
That was a
circus.
thing.
Yeah, she did all that. She did all that, and the reason she came up with the name Moms is that she was one of those people who was like a mother to the other comedians, especially female comedians and things like that, and the male comedians. She was out as a
Wait, are
lesbian.
you saying she was a mother? No, I'm just.
Your mother, all right. No, she wasn't a mother, but she was like a mom figure because she would take these young comedians under her wing and help them out,
Hmm.
and she was a lesbian and she usually dressed in men's clothing. She took the persona of Mom's Mabley, I think probably in 51, and started the routine where she was acting like a mom with no teeth and dressed in the smock and everything. But then once she was off stage, she would take the smock off, put on a suit and tie or whatever, and dress more like a man than anything. And
Now, did
but
you
she did
find
the whole.
videos of her on YouTube?
Oh yeah, you can find videos of her on YouTube. She
Okay.
is hilarious.
All right.
Oh yeah, we're not talking about actresses, Rick. We're talking about comedians, female comedians. So yeah,
Rick is
Pam
saying Pam Grier
Grier.
was never the typical black actress.
Mm-mm.
But we were right. The focus for tonight was women who had an impact on comedy,
Comedy.
and I guess these
Comedy.
are all women that other comedians kind of cite as some of their
Yes.
inspirations, and and I guess I was odd because again, as a comic, the I had like a trilogy of comedians that I actually kind of would study and read their biographies, and I learned a lot about. I mean,
Ralph
well,
Garcia.
huh?
Ralph Garcia.
Ralph Garcia? No, not Ralph Garcia. He's not a comedian. He's a character from the movie Fame.
I know, but I'm
No,
trying to
no,
relate.
no. My three were Lenny Bruce, George Carlin, and Richard Pryor. And I think the reason I admired their comedy because it was kind of rooted in a little bit of truth. But
Yes.
they took those truths and they would bend them to find the funny. And I think a lot of the best humor or the best comedy comes from those nuggets of truth and what you do to exploit or expand on them. So yeah, because I think my favorite
Uh,
joke in my act was the joke about my name because the truth was, and in fact, this actually is playing out this week because evidently some spammer sent everybody in my school a spam email from me saying that they needed to send money somewhere, but it was like a Gmail account, but it was under the name Catherine Walker. So I had to send out a thing saying, hey, that's spam. Make sure you report it. And by the way, my name's not Catherine or Kathleen. it is Kathy. It's on my birth certificate. But I did a whole joke about my name because, again, because people, would assume my name was longer. And no, my name was basically a nickname. It was a white girl's name, but I found the truth in that experience for me and put it in my comedy act. So
When Kathy did a comedy act, she would tell jokes about me because at the time my son was born, and
that was a funny joke, though. I mean, in the back
she
of the
had
day,
a bunch
and
of
you know
funny
what?
jokes.
And the bad
So
part is, I couldn't even do those jokes today. That's what's
no,
sad.
well, yeah, because everybody's so sensitive. But
Yeah.
here's the thing. I was okay. I'm gonna tell you this story because I know we're kind of over time, but I'm gonna the hell with it. I'm gonna tell the story anytime. Anyway,
Story
we were at
time.
a function. We were at a function called Blacks in Government. My dad was the president of the organization because he worked for the government. My mom was in there, and we're at a function. It's a room full of black folks, beautiful women. My dad is like the president. I'm his son. I'm not working for the government at the time. I'm in a nice suit. My buddy Leonardus is with me because his dad works for the government, and we're looking at. We're got these. We're
Oh,
looking
now
good.
you're Leonardus. I'm like, that boy been
Leonardus was
junior half
Junior.
his life. Why
Junior.
you gonna
Yeah,
make him
Junior.
all
Yeah.
fancy?
Well, he's a grown man now, so I'm not calling him Junior. I'm calling him Leonardus. Anyway, so Leon Kit is in there because some people call him Kit. Kit is in there, and we're sitting there, we're chilling, and we're like, and at the time we're like in our young 20s, and we're like, yo, check out this one, check out that one. We think we players. My son was born at the time. I was like 25, 26. My son was born at the time, and his mother was white. So, and if you know anything about black culture, especially in the 90s, you go somewhere and you got a kid by a white woman. Black women are now, you're now like, you're like this. So my sister comes up and I'm chilling because I'm looking good and women are saying hi to me and everything. And she goes, my brother, I got my brother the perfect gift for Christmas. White sneakers to go with his white girlfriend. And I'm like, Junior is cracking up. He's like, oh, you gotta take it. You gotta own it. You gotta own it.
It was
Because
so
right
out of
now,
context.
my game is shot. My sister totally shot my an all black event with black beautiful women. I'm thinking I'm going to kick game. My sister totally killed my game, killed it. I went home with no numbers. No, I didn't even try to talk to anybody for the rest of the night. Okay, that was her standard. What was the other joke you had? I have a tan nephew.
No,
You lose them
you're
in the
telling my
carpet.
jokes all out of context. So let's just leave them alone.
know.
Let's leave them back in
Okay.
the '90s where they were. you know, not trying to
I
make
should have
anybody
got
feel bad.
I should have got royalties. Is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
No, I said he was half black, half white. Um, in other words, he was beige, which was great because he went with everything. Um, he couldn't put him on the rug because people kept stepping on him. But here's the thing, that's just bad.
That's just bad.
That's just bad.
It's just bad.
All right. Anyway, we're not gonna do.
But that is our list
We're not gonna. I couldn't
of
do stand up
comedic
today
women.
though. It's too hard. People are too sensitive. I mean,
I think you. I personally think
hmm
you should because I think you're funny.
oh
I
well,
think you
bless
can
your
get away with
soul.
it. I think you're funny. I think you can get it. You're better than me with the comedy. I can't do stand up comedy
I
because
don't know. Maybe one day. Maybe I'll do
mom
like
always.
Rodney Dangerfield. He did it when in his youth, but didn't have any success with it. But then he came back, in his 50s and 60s, and was killing the game. I don't even know whether I would have the stomach for it today. So
Well, like mom always said, like you're the funny one. I'm the funny looking one. So I don't think
I
I'm.
don't remember that. But okay, if you say
Yeah,
so.
yeah, yeah. She said that. She said that. Yeah, she said that.
Uh, anyway, so what are we talking about next week?
Next week, it's like, what are we doing next week, Brain? Well, Pinky, next week,
Same thing we do
next
every
week we
day.
will control the world.
Take
No,
over the world.
next week we are going back to one of our shows that we should have did earlier. So
Okay.
we're going to talk. We're going to do no laugh track TV. So we're going to be talking
Ah,
about the TV shows that do not have laugh tracks and are hilarious without the laugh tracks. I kind of prefer the shows without
a-
the laugh tracks
and
nowadays.
that's kind of like a more recent phenomenon of the 20,000s,
Well,
because I think we've had
it's
laugh
something
tracks
that's
for so long. Although,
yeah.
yeah, even on I'm trying to think of shows that were comedies that didn't have like the studio audience, but they still put the laugh track in. Like for a show like MASH, didn't they have a laugh track?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At one point they had a laugh track, but then they dropped the laugh track, and then they did the rest of they did like 7 or 8 seasons without the laugh track, I believe.
Okay.
But you know me, I'm gonna research it and let you
He's going
know.
to research it because even though it's our show, usually Kenny does the list. I do the visuals because I get to play with the controls and determine who's on screen and who's not. But and I
But it's
do all
our
that through
show.
eCam. So
We
there you go.
both do it. We
It's our
both
show.
do
All
it.
right.
We both do it.
So if I don't agree with the list, even though I get a copy of the list beforehand, so and if you want a copy of our list, check out our website, kathyandkenny.com. And if you subscribe to our website, it doesn't cost you anything. We just feed us an email, then we can send you a copy of the list so you can kind of follow along with the show. We'd love to do that. So go
Tell
ahead
a
and sign
friend.
up. You can
Tell a
also check out
friend.
tell a friend. You can also check out our blog. Uh, on that site too, because every week, well, we were trying to hit every week and we got a little off track, but we'll get back on track. We do a blog post to kind of feature um, some pop culture topic, whether it's talking about um, the latest superheroes or an obsession with vinyl, whatever it is, we are checking it out on there. We
I
may,
can talk about superheroes every week.
yeah. So we kind of
I can talk
limit,
about superheroes every week.
we kind of
I think besides our regular blog, I think I need to do a superhero blog every week. I think I need to do a nerd blog every week. I might have to do that.
you might have to do that. But if
I
you
might have to
want
do that. And
to
then we have a regular blog and
check
a
that
nerd
out,
blog.
you can
Yeah,
check out
pop culture kids.
kathyandkenny.com. And as I say, when you look up more, you can become members and it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. And
Free.
yeah. And in the pop culture corner, like I said, you can check out our blog posts where again, they're short reads. Usually they're 2 minutes tops to read, where we talked about YouTube University, Black Superhero Cookout, resolutions, and Public Domain Day. So we take turns kind of writing the blog posts, but you can check that out on our website, and also where you can find episodes of our show and links to the YouTube page. And I need to update this because this still says Saturday night. And check us out on our social media, whether it's, yeah, all the things, but kathyandkenny.com. You could also shop our merch. We do have a merch store where you can get, it still says Kathy explain pop culture, but we probably need to put up. There's the pop culture kid hoodie and all kinds of stuff that you can check out on that site. The pop culture store. We probably need our new pop culture logo in there. You can
And
tell
if
this is
and
all
if you
back in the day because we even had masks for
yeah.
for things of COVID. And actually, I think our new space is going to be on Fourth Wall. But either way,
If you have and if you are in the South Jersey area and you happen to see me at one of the open mics around or me performing or you come to my open mic, I usually have pop culture kids shirts.
all right. So you can
And
check that. Oops. I'm sorry. I hit the wrong button.
well, okay, make sure you catch me on my Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok because I do a positive word Monday through Friday every day.
Yeah.
My positive word is going tomorrow might be about how I didn't get the royalties from my sister's stand-up act.
That sounds a little negative, but that's okay. Well, you'll have to check that out. But we thank you guys for checking us out. We're here every Sunday night, Pop Culture Kids, right here on YouTube. Thank you for hanging out. Make sure you subscribe, click that thumbs up, do all the YouTubey kind of things. We so appreciate you. And as always, in parting, we wish you love, peace, and pop culture.
God bless your soul and keep living. Peace.
Kathy and Kenny here to say, pop culture fun in every way. Music, TV, movies.
Thank you for
also
geeking
right.
out with Kathy and Kenny on Kathy and
Join
Kenny
us for
Explain
a
Pop
blast
Culture.
tonight. Sister and brother rocking the flow, sharing all the things you need to know. Kathy and Kenny always in the mix. Pop culture fun fix to fix. Pop culture kids podcast crew, tune in and let the topics move. Kathy and Kenny make it fun. Pop culture talk for everyone. Simple for everyone. I brought some for everyone.